Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for joining me for my Try It Out Tuesday. Today I'm going to be using this stamp set from My Favorite Things. It is called Spooky Sweets. It's kind of funny name because there's no sweets in there, but I really like the pumpkins in here, so I thought it'd be fun. Instead of creating a Halloween themed card, I thought we'd use the pumpkins to create a fall card. So I'm going to grab all three of my pumpkins, place them in my mini Misty here, and we're going to do some stamping. I'm going to use 3 different oranges to stamp my pumpkins, starting off with the lightest orange that I have. This is Orange Fizz. It's an MFT ink, and since this is the first time using the stamps, the ink kind of bubbled up on my images, so we kind of got to break them in a bit, so I'm going to end up stamping a few times. And these inks too, once they dry, they'll blend a lot nicer. They look blotchy now, but once they dry, they'll dry real pretty. The next color that I'm going to grab is like a medium tone orange, and it's called Persimmon. And I'm just going over maybe like 3/4 of the way up my pumpkin, keeping the top portion lighter and the bottom darker. And I'm trying to avoid getting some harsh straight lines. So I'm just kind of working my ink pad around my images. For my third color, I'm going to use Brick Red and just go over the bottom, kind of trailing up just a little bit. And this is going to give me some real pretty 2-tone, or 3-tone actually, pumpkins. Once we have this third color on, I'm going to start all over again with the Orange Fizz and stamp it over the top again just a couple times, just to make sure all the colors blend beautifully. But I love the little white lines in the pumpkin, so I thought they'd be a real pretty fall card. Okay, once we have that done, I'm going to grab the stems to my pumpkins. We're going to pick those up, and then we're going to use some green inks, 2 of them. This is Dill Pickle, but any 2-tone green inks that you have would work perfectly. Once we have those stamped, I'm going to grab a darker ink. This is Timber Green, and just going over the bottom of my stems, I'm going to, and again, trying to avoid that harsh line, but we stamp those. Now I'm going to take my scissors, I'll fussy cut each one of these out. Once they're cut out, we're going to set those aside and work on a background. So I'm going to grab some pattern papers. I have a real pretty wood grain, and then also this green, it's like an olive green pattern. I'm going to use my tape runner and adhere the green pattern to the wood grain. I'm actually going to lift it up just a bit. And then using a stitched rectangle die, I'm going to cut out a panel. And I'm also going to cut out a panel that is slightly larger than this one with white cardstock. Okay, I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and trim down my pattern paper at a diagonal. Just something a little bit different here. And then I'm going to grab some orange and white baker's twine, and I'm going to wrap that around the green pattern paper. Now you can see here I already kind of clustered my pumpkins together. The largest 2 were in the back, and I just used my tape runner to adhere those together, and then the front one I used dimensional adhesive to pop it up. Now I did wrap my baker's twine around twice and then just tied a little bow to the left here. I'm going to trim off the tails. Just going to adjust it so it's in the center, because I am going to add some foam tape behind here, and so once I add the foam tape, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to adjust it anymore. Now we need to, oh, I did go over my pumpkins also with my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen. Now I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to use the only sentiment in the stamp set that is not Halloween themed, and it says Hello Pumpkin. It goes perfect with my little pumpkins. Stamp that with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink at the diagonal line. And then now we're going to flip this panel over, add some foam tape, adhere that to our white panel along with our little pumpkin cluster, and then using tape runner, I'm going to adhere this to a craft card base that's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. It's a top folding card base, and that craft goes really well with that wood grain pattern paper. Now I did get a little bit of ink on this pumpkin here. I got 2 little dots, and there was so much ink on there, and then there's so much glitter. I knew that my sand eraser wouldn't take it off, so I thought I could cover it up with some clear droplets. Not sure if it worked or not because the glue is kind of covering it right now, but we'll see when it dries. But that's my card for today. Easy peasy. Any kind of pumpkin stamps that you have in your stash would work great. Just 3 different sizes. I wish you a fantastic day, guys. Thanks again for joining me, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.